This is every military submarine on Earth, at least the ones we know about. I've separated them out by each country. Whoever rules the waves rules the world is a saying that rings especially true in recent years, as global power dynamics are shifting before our eyes. Submarines represent ocean power. So today, let's look at the 471 known military submarines and which countries they belong to, both big and small. I want to do this so that we can see how countries use these vessels not only to protect their country, but also to project power.
Guys, there's like 200 whatever countries, right? There's 400 submarines, and drug dealers have them.
43 countries that have subs. Most just have small
That's insane.
fleets.
They've been using them. They've been using them.
Experts argue about these numbers. If you want to see our methodology here, you can go to our sources, link in the description, to explore country by country how we got these numbers and specs. And yes, these submarines are to scale.
It's one of these videos, really.
Countries want submarines for slightly different reasons than the big countries. For these small navies, having even one submarine
I prefer
is a major level,
sandwiches.
because submarines are designed to be invisible, to lurk and spy, and be ready to attack at any moment. Their great advantage is that your enemy has no idea where they are, so they have to assume that they could be anywhere.
I mean, I fell off so hard, it's unbelievable.
These submarines are also much smaller than the ones we'll see later on when we get to the big navies. And almost all of them have a massive limitation, which is that they're powered by diesel engines that need oxygen to run. This means that the submarine has to go to the surface every so often to run these loud engines to charge the batteries on the sub before diving back down again. This makes these submarines less effective than nuclear-powered submarines that we'll see later. These submarines could stay underwater basically forever. That is, if they didn't have humans aboard that needed to come—
Hold on, chat. In English, you guys don't say submarine for the sandwich? You guys don't say that?
To the surface for food and supplies. I made a whole video
about
the fascinating
that's why joke wasn't funny,
history of submarines.
Where I'm from, that's what we say.
But let's
What
keep
the
going.
fuck is this?
We say
I know
submarine.
this visual is very satisfying, and I'm gonna keep showing it to you. But I gotta thank today's sponsor because I wouldn't be able to make this video without sponsors.
In these smaller—
Thank you.
Strategically, the submarines in these smaller navies are meant to patrol and protect a country's coastal waters, the ocean close by, making anyone think twice before attacking that country. Though we're arriving at a bit of an exception to this, Israel. Israel currently has 5 very modern submarines, 2 of which can stay underwater.
Hold on.
Is that country. Though we're arriving at a bit of an exception to this, Israel currently has 5 very modern submarines, 2 of which can stay underwater for up to a week without needing to take in oxygen, making them stealthier than the older diesel models, and allowing them to travel up to 4,500 kilometers. And while all of the subs we've seen so far carry smaller weapons like torpedoes, or anti-ship missiles or mines, Israel's submarines can shoot missiles loaded with nuclear warheads. At least that's what the US government believes and has said, even though Israel denies all of this. Israel uses these submarines as defense against the many enemies they have in their region, like Iran, hoping that these nuclear-armed submarines would make Iran think twice before ever striking Israel first.
Yeah, but there's no line of sight though. What are they thinking?
They can go around.
It hits the fucking land. What?
They can go like this.
If they fucking shoot the thing, it hits the fucking land.
They can go like this, get in here.
Oh my god,
in the Persian Gulf. And then they fly the missiles over. The missiles over.
First. By the way, those Israeli submarines are being purchased from Germany, a country that is coming up here soon.
If they can shoot it from a submarine, why don't they just shoot it from land? They own all the land there.
Because the submarine can get close, and they can't spot it easily. They're stealthy, yeah.
They also build and export submarines all over the world. Here we have Australia, which has a relatively small fleet of diesel submarines. But this is going to change soon. Thanks to a historic deal with the UK and US, Australia will soon have super advanced nuclear-powered submarines.
Dude, nobody gives a fuck about Australia, man.
The United States.
Dude,
this is all a part
people are running from Australia. This shit's a fucking floating island. There's nothing around it. Why are they defending this shit? Nobody's going after it.
The U.S.'s effort.
True.
What are they doing?
It's literally
alliances in
there's
China's
nothing there,
By
man.
the way, this is where
a
you'll
bunch
start
of
to see us moving
there's a
into
bunch
more
of
powerful
insects.
navies.
That's all there is, man.
These navies use their submarines not just to protect their coastline and coastal waters, but to project power in their region. So you'll start to see bigger and more advanced diesel submarines, but we'll also start to see submarines that run on nuclear energy, like these French and British subs. These submarines have a nuclear reactor on board that breaks apart atoms and creates an immense amount of energy that heats up water and powers the submarine.
Guys,
it could do this.
I'll never get this. Why the fuck don't I have this in my house?
This amount of energy.
Because you need to maintain, you need to have an expert to maintain this. And on top of that, this shit generates so much power. You're gonna explode your house, man. This shit generates power for the entire city. Okay?
Having to go to the
you don't need this in your house.
This process also makes oxygen and drinkable
also, you're
water
banned,
for the
bitch.
sailors.
I'm not getting it. Guys, if you can make a nuclear reactor this small, why don't I buy a nuclear reactor and just give power to my neighbors? The whole
way too much power, and you need to maintain it.
For y'all, it's not small, but it's only a submarine. I could put that in the backyard or some shit.
Makes oxygen and drinkable water for the sailors. Having a nuclear reactor on board is a game changer for subs because it allows them to silently patrol the seas, traveling long distances and projecting power to regions that are important to them. Here come the fleets of Greece and Turkey. They have a similar number of subs because both countries see securing their water as very important. And while they don't have nuclear power plants on board, both countries have subs that don't require as much oxygen as typical diesel subs, allowing them to stay underwater for much longer. This is also where you start to see submarines that are equipped with the most powerful weapons of all.
What the fuck?
Full weapons of all. India currently has at least 2 submarines that, as far as we know, are not only powered by nuclear energy, but can also launch rockets with nuclear warheads on them. They have a range of around 700 kilometers, and they're working on 2 more, which could potentially increase that range to more like 3,500 kilometers.
Yeah, okay. That's to war with China. They're going after China.
Submarines that are quicker and that are meant to accompany and support these nuclear-armed subs. Though it's hard to know the full picture because a lot of the details from the Indian Army are kept secret.
Okay, chat, guys. I'm not trying to make war crime strats. Okay, so now the drones that I made in this alternate reality are all hidden under the boat, like barnacles on a sea turtle. Bunch of them. They don't know it's there, right? But it's there, right? It doesn't do anything. These guys are like, guys, maintenance time. Gotta go for repairs. Gotta go to the shop. Parks next to all the other valuable tech. Bang!
If you want, you can look at my sources for more details on this reporting. Here comes
makes
Iran.
sense.
They don't have nuclear
it's like Trojan
capabilities on
horse
their submarines, but they do have a lot of subs.
It's a Trojan horse strategy.
And at least 15 of these mini subs. They use these to patrol their coastal waters, through which a lot of valuable oil flows. We've got 6 countries left, and this is where things get really big, really fast. Here are 2 countries that have a lot in common. Both are high-tech economies, both are close friends with the United States, both are deeply reliant on the ocean. And crucially, both countries are surrounded by rival countries with strong navies. One of those neighbors is the Hermit Kingdom of North Korea. We don't know how big North Korea's fleet is, for obvious reasons. Experts think they could have as many as 85 submarines, but here I'm going to visualize a more conservative estimate of 36 submarines.
Guys, I'll never understand this, chat. Guys, the population barely has access to like necessities, drinkable water, food, shit like that, internet, okay? These guys got high-tech powered sub, massive, huge. Okay, chill out, bro. Chill out.
A lot of this info.
Yeah, because they don't care about population. They don't care about power output. That's what they care about.
But regardless
of why would you care about some population
it's a pretty big
when they're slaves?
It rivals
why would you care about
powers, that? At least in terms of numbers.
Shit runs on coal.
Experts disagree about how functional all of these subs really are.
See?
Some of these boats are at least 50 years old.
He's cooking!
It has around 8 diesel subs.
Fucking gross.
Some of these boats are at least 50 years old.
Look at this.
It has around 8 diesel subs capable of long-range patrol.
Shit runs on vegetable oil.
These two. They're diesel powered, and even though they can't stay underwater for more than just a few days, they do have the ability to shoot 4 ballistic missiles armed with nuclear warheads, with a likely range that could easily reach Japan or even Guam and Hawaii, a part of the United States. Now we're moving into the big 3 navies, the countries that use their subs to project power at each other and around the world. China has 58 submarines. 6 of these subs are capable of firing rockets with nuclear weapons, and 6 more are attack submarines powered by nuclear energy.
America number 1. Dude, USA number 1.
Still the older diesel-powered kind.
Number 1, freedom.
What China's rivals see when they look at this fleet is more like this. In the next 6 years, China's fleet will include at least 5 new nuclear-powered subs. 2 of them are going to be able to launch ballistic missiles with nuclear weapons on them, and 3 of them will be able to launch cruise missiles. They're even getting Russia's help to build a new, extra-quiet, extra-stealthy ballistic missile sub that the US is worried about because it'll be nearly impossible for them to track. They're doing this...
Okay, so now this is when the plan comes in. They hire an engineer, works on the subs, right? They outsource him because he's skilled. Works for them, right? He's an insider, though. Hold on. Planned obsolescence. Hear me out. Planned obsolescence. The shit will glitch soon. They use it, they never know what's going on, right? Everything's fine. All the checks are there, but somehow, some cogwheel is made to break after some... Bang! Bang! Boom!
That the US is worried about because it'll be nearly impossible for them to track. They're doing this in part as a response to the US selling this submarine technology to Australia. But it's also a part of China's bigger goal of being a global superpower like the US, who can project power to every ocean in the world. This will be difficult for them, first and foremost because the US and its allies have created a chain of military installations here in the Pacific. This allows them to track Chinese submarines trying to leave the region. But it will also be difficult because China lags quite a bit behind the US when it comes to creating stealthy submarines. It's a gap that they are working hard to close. Russia has the 2nd largest fleet, 62 submarines in total. We've just made
I'm back, Crash, don't say it!
This fleet is a huge step up from China's. Half of the fleet is powered...
Riot Games, Tencent, China, right? Games that they make are all copies of something else, but not as good. Let that sink in. It's the same problem here.
By nuclear energy, and 12 of these subs can launch nuclear weapons, something that they remind the world of by conducting these tests that show off their subs launching these rockets, obviously without the nukes on board.
Valorant, Dota
These other
League.
subs are attack submarines, which are quick, hard to track. They can launch missiles with a range of 600 kilometers that are precise and able to hit a land-based target on the east coast of the United States if they were here in the Atlantic Ocean. And this gets to a really important use of submarines at this level, their ability to lurk around the globe. Russia quietly sends its nuclear-armed subs to key regions that puts their enemies and rivals in range.
Oh, okay, dude, hold on.
Nuclear-armed...
Is this the fucking Nunavut or whatever? Chat, is this the territories of the Northwest?
Yes.
Dude, you can have it. You know what, dude? You know what, on behalf of Canada, brother, you can have it.
subs to key regions that puts their enemies and rivals in range.
True.
It's a part of their nuclear deterrent. The threat that if they are attacked, they have the capability to strike back with nukes, and no one can know exactly from
There's
where.
Nothing there. It's a wasteland.
In recent years, Russia shocked the world by unveiling this long-range nuclear-powered torpedo called Poseidon. It can travel 185 kilometers an hour underwater, and it can hit targets as far away as 1,000 kilometers. Oh, and it apparently carries a 100 megaton nuclear warhead that can create a radioactive tsunami. We're not 100% sure how much of this is real and how much is Russian propaganda, but it just goes to show you how crazy our advanced technology is becoming here. Okay, we've made it to number 1. The United States, which unambiguously is the most powerful submarine force in the world.
You're welcome,
Not just by numbers, but by capability. All 68 of these subs are powered by nuclear energy. Most of these
Only
are attack
68?
submarines, which are smaller and quicker. They're meant for battle with their torpedoes and sea mines and
I'm Canadian. I pay my tax in the United States, brother. Okay? My little W-2, whatever the fuck, tax form, right there. Look at it. Look at it. You're welcome. Look at it. Holy.
Shorter range weapons.
I own
like
that.
These 4 submarines can each be loaded up with 154 cruise missiles. Missiles that have a range of 1,000 kilometers and are very precise. Then we get to these 14 subs, which are huge. You can really see it when you look at them out of the water. These submarines can carry up to 24 missiles. Each of them
Wait, that's like Fallout.
Multiple nuclear warheads. These
the
things
mobile
can travel
game.
Up to 12,000 kilometers, which is nearly a third the Earth's circumference. And at any given moment, 8 of these are lurking around the world's oceans, carrying some 720 nuclear warheads between them. And no one knows where, and that's the whole point. They are a foundational part of the U.S.'s nuclear deterrent.
Chap, so I wasn't wrong when I said that. Guys, I made the bold statement in saying you cannot just stop putting money into the fucking military or whatever. You cannot just fucking, guys, let's just stop and put it into the whatever. Dude, I'm sure a lot of countries and geopolitics literally rely on that security and threat and uncertainty, and it keeps the world in a web.
Yes.
You remove that web, a bunch of shit happens.
A constant reminder that attacking the U.S. could easily provoke a response from one of these hidden subs. This is what controlling the ocean really looks like. And it's one of the ways that the U.S. has maintained its place as the most powerful country on Earth. To keep this position, in 2020, the U.S. started building 12 new massive submarines to replace these 14 aging nuclear-armed subs. They will be completed in 2042.
Just sell them to the opponents, but all of them have at least one defect that they don't know about, right? At the risk. Think about that.
So,
all
those
of them
are
have
the
a glitch.
Submarines, and a little bit about their strategic application. There's so much more to cover about submarines and naval strategy. So please tell me what questions you have, or what else I should cover on this topic in the future. Thanks for watching.
Is Harris? Johnny Harris.
I still don't understand why you can make such a small nuclear reactor be so powerful like that. Why don't we use that everywhere? Why don't we have one nuclear reactor in every neighborhood, everywhere?
Because people are scared.
Stop saying it's not small, you fucking loser.
How do you always manage
guys,
it's expensive to make. People are scared of nuclear power. And it needs a lot of maintenance, right? You need smart people that know how to control this shit. They can sit there for hours a day, making sure everything goes right? Bunch of water to cool, oxygen, all that shit. You need it, man. You need water to cool it.
In the basement, it powers the whole neighborhood. If it blows up, okay, so what? It's underground. Boom, nothing happens, whatever.
Dog, what? Yeah, if it blows up, it pollutes. It blows up underground, collapses a whole building, blows up the entire neighborhood, and on top of that, pollutes the groundwater for fucking 100 years to come, man. Jesus, this guy's retarded. You need to have... Nuclear power has a lot of maintenance, so you need a lot of time and money to keep this shit running. It's very efficient, very effective, but to set it up, it's like trains, right? You can make road networks pretty easily. People die on that shit, and it's worse. But having trains, you need to build all the railings that are expensive as shit everywhere. A very long railing, right? Then also maintain the trains, have good staff, so that people actually take this shit seriously. But people don't, right? Because they're disgusting, and nobody likes them because the vandalism and all that, get the garbage, right? Same as for nuclear power is the same. People don't like it because they think it's dangerous because of Chernobyl, and it's expensive as shit.